Burn them bow down, making Dylan heat drum. But the bow wow. Oh man, look at all the advice.
Oh, there's like 12 pages.
That is that's a lot of advice, guys. Welcome back to Mike and Dylan Hate Drama, where we give the people life advice. And who better to give life advice than a TikTok comedian?
I was gonna say a degenerate, but yeah.
A TikTok comedian, and then a guy who well, actually Dylan has his life together and runs a pretty successful business. So he's pretty good at
well, you say
life.
Successful, but that was like 2 years ago before I met you.
Right, yeah, before I dragged him down, and I was just like, hey man, you want to make some content? I mean, if we would have just started off with like OnlyFans, we would have found our niche by now.
Yeah, I mean, still there's the whole eating cake with your butt thing. You might be able to make that work.
I could do that.
I actually was listening to a podcast the other day, and they were talking about taking down like Pornhub because, like, I think they took down 91% of their content because it didn't, like, anybody can upload to it, and so there was like a bunch of revenge porn and like sex trafficking and all this other stuff, and I was like, that's pretty wild. Like that it just went unchecked for like 13 or no, I guess it's over almost coming up on 20 years.
I mean, you're making that much money, you got to overlook the bad stuff.
Yeah.
You fill in your pockets. And then once you've made enough money, then you're like, okay, I guess we'll take it down.
Yeah, the way they got to them was by getting the credit card companies. Like they basically were saying like, hey, you're supporting sex trafficking and like rape and all this other stuff. And you guys are doing that. And so they're like, oh yeah, we'll stop allowing Pornhub to process their credit cards.
It's crazy too how, and we have the beard back, so now I'm not going to stop touching it. But I found out if I shave the beard, then I just like touch my nose a lot. So
yeah, you're like digging in there like with like an itchy nose hair. Did you trim your nose hairs?
No.
No.
I could be like, this is such a big problem on the podcast. Look, people are just going to think I do blow before the podcast. It's
you know what? For Father's Day, I'll get you a nose hair trimmer.
But then I have to use said nose hair trimmer too. So, but fuck, I always forget what I was about to talk about.
Yeah, you just keep rolling on into the next one.
Oh yeah, no, but you see how instead of like, you know, going out in the streets and fucking destroying shit, which has been like the fad for the past 15 years on trying to get stuff changed, people were like, oh, well, we'll just go after the credit card companies, tell them that we're going to stop using them if they keep fucking, you know, using Pornhub or their credit cards are usable over on Pornhub. And shit changed, man. If people would just learn that if you want a company, a government, whatever, to fix a policy, you take what they love most, which is money. Yeah.
Money.
Take what they love most, which is money. We go out there and fucking, you know, destroy a couple shops. I mean, it's good for news. It's good for publicity. I ain't gonna lie. It is really good for awareness. But then, I mean, the big companies, they don't even care. They're making all their shit back with insurance. The insurance company loves it. The media loves it. Like, everybody's making so much money when people go out there and do that. What is the incentive to then change anything?
Not much.
Right. You just are like, okay, well, fuck it. We're not going to use you anymore. We're not going to fucking buy your product anymore. And then they're like, hey, wait a minute, brother. What do you mean? We can change all this. we can fix everything.
See, I think the hard part though is like you have to basically just stop using it forever, and like that's one of the things.
It is not hard, bro. Like, listen.
Well, everybody does all these like protests and like we're not going to do this, and then they do it for like 2 or 3 days, a week, and like that's never going to change anything.
That's
like,
the fucking problem, man. Look, liberals. All right. I'm looking at you guys. Like there's things that the left goes through, like problems that arise that I fuck with. And I'm like, all right. And then they're like, we're just going to shit on normal people that feel differently than us and actually like try to change the problem. It was like the Starbucks situation. Just don't fucking go to Starbucks. They couldn't even do that. Like they can't even do that. If you find something egregiously wrong and you're like, hey, look.
Well, they stopped buying Teslas though.
They never were buying Teslas.
I mean, yeah, they were the original Tesla.
People would guap at it, yeah, but the fucking, that's so funny. God, Elon's such a fucking moron. How do you go from, because you're right, like a lot of the, you know, eco-friendly, save the earth, Teslas. And then he's like, you know what? I'm going to shit all over those guys.
Well, because he needed to open up a new market. And so he got like a bunch of
But that market was like, we ain't buying that goddamn shit. I'm going to use my fucking diesel truck. What are you talking about, Elon? So then he shits on the people who buys his cars. The other side's not really buying his cars. So then he's like, oh, fuck, I got to now flip it again, which technically, the only reason that Elon did that whole shit with Trump is so everybody would like take their eyes off of what was going down in fucking Memphis, Tennessee with his supercomputer just destroying the poor part of Memphis. I mean, motherfuckers down there can't breathe, but I don't know. You start arguing with the president, then that takes the eyes off of, you know, the terrible shit that you're doing. Like he doesn't fucking care. He's like talking shit about the big beautiful bill, I guess, which is dog shit. And then, doing the insinuations with, you know, he helped Donald Trump during the election and all that shit. All of that just to be like, you know, because he's like, look, liberals, I need y'all to buy some Teslas again. And then B, to be like, and also just don't pay attention to what's going on in Memphis.
I bet he got quite a few right-wingers to buy like a Cybertruck and stuff like that. Not like farmers, not like Joe Schmo, but like there was
I've seen quite a few Cybertrucks, so obviously they were
a ton.
Yeah, they were and I guess maybe that's why he did the sudden flip, was because he's like, we got this truck coming out. So who buys trucks?
Yeah. There you go. I mean, it could be. But yeah, no, it's just wild. Like that's my thing, is because, you know, my parents are definitely left of center, to say it nicely, and they're always like, well, we're not doing this anymore. And they're good about it though. They'll go like, you know, forever without actually doing it. But I'm like, for the most part, like with like, I know everybody was like up in arms about like Walmart. One of the heiresses of Walmart was supporting the No Kings rallies and stuff like that. And like, we're not shopping at Walmart anymore. And it's like, how long are you actually going to hold up with that? Because like eventually it's going to be like, this is really inconvenient. Maybe we should go get this at Walmart. And then it's back to
until they find out that so Walmart was back in that movement.
One of the like daughters.
Listen, here's the thing about businesses, man. God damn it. I understand you want to show support.
Yeah.
I'm throwing this up. Support. It's just like the Pride Month shit. You throw a fucking rainbow on your logo because you're like, oh, we need that gay money.
We didn't do that for MADHD. Should we do that for this month? I mean, we're not all the way done with it.
Oh, yeah, yeah. We could do it for Labor Llama. Fucking have a rainbow on it. But it is essentially to be like, hey, you know, we're the good guys.
We want your money.
Yeah, we want your money, which is stupid, again, because look, companies do it. Companies are just, I don't know what the marketing people are thinking, because so firstly you got the Budweiser, they have the Dylan Mulvaney doing the Budweiser thing.
Well, the craziest thing about that though was like they literally offered that to like hundreds and hundreds of influencers, and so that was just one of the people that got it. It wasn't, but then somebody saw it and like lost their mind about it. But like they literally did that for like a shit ton of people, and they just happened to pick a transgender person as one of the people. It wasn't like they're like, this is our spokesperson.
Right.
They just offered it to a bunch of people. One of them was transgender, and then they're like, oh my god, Bud Light, I'm like Kid Rock, I'm gonna shoot them all. Like,
right, yeah, I'm gonna shoot all my Bud Lights. And then Bud Light was like, we're working with the UFC now. And they were like, all right, we're back. Fucking yeah. I mean, I enjoy the UFC.
You drinking Bud Light now?
Here's the shitty part though, is because once I be talking shit, so that's what loses us all opportunities. All opportunities is the UFC pays fighters like garbage, complete shit. I mean, terrible. And now me saying that, fuck, I'll never be able to just, you know, do anything with those guys. But I mean, I couldn't anyways, because they do get fucking just paid horrendously.
Like everybody up and down the ticket, or
so
just like the lower tiers?
A lot of people get paid like, you know, 5 and 5, 10 and 10, which is 10,000 to show, 10,000 to win, from a company that last year probably profited at around $1.5 billion. And people are like, well, they got 1,000 fighters on their card. Do $1.5 billion or 1.5 billion divided by 1,000 and tell me people couldn't make a little bit more money.
Well, and there's difference between profit and revenue. Like if you did 1.5,
that's what they profit.
That's what I'm getting.
That's gross
though.
profit.
It's like,
yes.
So that is After paying all
after paying everything, that's what they had to work with to pay more fighters. And I mean, UFC is essentially the NFL of mixed martial arts. That is where you want to make it to. So you got these kids who are just like, killing themselves to get up there. And I mean, I kind of understand from a standpoint, but then the fighters they're not making more money. The price for, bro, if I want to watch every UFC, I got priced out of watching UFC. Like you have to have ESPN Plus, which charges you a monthly thing. And then each pay-per-view is around $70 to $90 per pay-per-view. Well, and then they'll have some fight nights over here on fucking, they got a big one coming on ABC. I don't even know what the fuck I got that gets ABC. That's why I say, if you're going to watch UFC, go to TikTok Live. Because bro, TikTok Live be killing it. And now I said something, so they're gonna fucking know about that. But like, you got these companies that just want to look good because they want people to buy their product, and it's so stupid because they get behind the wrong shit. Like when Tractor Supply was doing the gay pride parades and stuff like that. Like, cool, you want gay people money. I don't know the percentage of farmers that are gay. You know what I'm saying? Like that are really just like out there. Like, could you imagine going to a farm? It's just a guy fucking out there, assless chaps, cowboy hat. Just, this is my farm.
That's the crazy thing though, because like farmers really are like, I think a lot of them, there's always that minority that's going to give people a bad name. But farmers, I feel like, are the epitome of like, leave me the fuck alone. I don't care what you do.
Right. Yeah.
Like, just leave me the fuck alone. You do what you want to do, and just leave me here to do what I need to do.
I had another one. It was Tractor Supply that.
Didn't Carhartt?
Budweiser. I don't remember what Carhartt did. Carhartt, they. Fuck if I know. I don't fucking know. I know Tractor Supply did that. There was another one. Elon.
All of them do it.
Yeah, all of them do it. And they're just like, I don't know. It's so easy to tell, though, that I'm just doing this, so this demographic will buy my stuff. Which, I mean, bro, listen, it's terrible because you do it just because you want people to buy your shit. It's then moronic when it goes against your actual base's fucking, what they like and shit like that. The majority of people that keep your company running. Bro, if Labor Llama, look, I'm poor, brother. If Labor Llama was fucking hoisted up by just like, the fucking worst type of people, I'm not going to be like, say shit against them, So Labor Llama, when we created that, it's for like blue collar workers. And whether you like to believe that, blue collar workers are mostly left, mostly right, it's like split down the middle.
It's 50-50 no matter where
it's pretty 50-50. So, I mean, I don't know, the shit that we could do is like, because we're going to be doing advertisements for it pretty soon, a ad type thing, if you will. And me and Dil, we already have I think we're going with the one we originally planned, right?
Yeah.
The one with the supervisor, because, it's, you ain't got to be political to sell shit. So Labor Llama's not going to be political to sell shit. We made one that was just like this goofy ad that was just kind of like poking fun at the left, but then on the right they did have a substantial just like Nazi movement on the far right. I'm not talking about normal people who are Republicans, just like the crazy ones. They had a Nazi movement. So I was like, oh man, this ad and already struggling. New businesses are fucking struggling.
And we blew $5,000 on this
ad that we shot. We was like, well, can't fucking send this out. I didn't think that was going to happen. And then what's so funny too is like, a couple of my friends on Facebook, they were like changing their fucking profile pictures to like Hitler with like a cowboy hat on and shit like that. And then I started seeing posts of, well, if you read the real history and what Hitler was about, and I'm just like, God damn it, man. Fuck. Why can't we just be fun? Look, it used to be fun. We used to just say little jokes about each other. You know what I'm saying? Like just fucking crack back and forth. We used to talk about real issues. And now, the funny thing is though, is the far left, like the real crazy far left, they also have Nazi tendencies, and both sides call each other Nazis. And there was the dark episode. Look, I'm gonna talk a little bit about the dark episode and why.
It will never come out because we don't have the footage for it.
We don't have the footage for it, but there was an instance where I said, I'm gonna show them what real Nazis are. I'm gonna start a Nazi movement. All right, I'm gonna be the new Hitler.
To get everybody to come
to
together.
get everybody to come to that. But the point of the argument is like during 9/11, we came together as a nation. So that's what we need is another 9/11, and who better than, you know what I'm saying? Like if I feel real, I think this is how manifestos are made, though.
Yes.
I'm like, that's
I got it. I solved it.
Yeah.
I know how to fix this.
Right, and let me write it down real quick, and then
45 pages
maybe
later.
all these guys are just like Mike, and they have good intentions, but when they start writing it down, the ADHD takes over. I don't know. I've never read a manifesto of somebody who's committed a atrocity.
I think millions of people dying. I think that's where you can't say like, well, maybe they had some good ideas. No, they didn't. If it equals that, there's no good ideas here.
I don't know, man. It's just people start to think that like the majority of people are the people who are on the far sides of the spectrum, and they're not. 99.9% of people are right center, left center. You know what I'm saying? There's people that are like, oh, I agree with some of this on the right, and I agree with some of this on the left. But it's, I don't know, that doesn't make for a good show.
Well, it's whenever you talk about groups of people rather than, because like when I was working at one place, they're like, black people this and black people that. And I was like, well, what about this black guy that we work? No, he's different. And I'm like, no, he's not. Like like there's bad people in all groups, but like as soon as you just put a label on it, like gay people this, transgender people this, black people this, like as soon as you put it in a group and take it away from like the people the people that you know in your community, like once you start saying like, okay, when I'm talking about a gay person, I do know a gay person that is a decent person. Well, think about it that way rather than just like the worst ones that have been shined a light on by the media. Like think about them as the person that you know that might be transgender, and they might be a shitty person too.
I've met a couple transgender people. I have never met one that was like, it's ma'am. Yeah, I've never ever, like if I fucked up, you know what I'm saying? But pronouns are difficult anyways. I don't give a fuck. But I've never met one that was like fucking just like, oh, what? You want to fucking take it there, brother? Like that's never happened. But once again, it's all about, you want people to watch your shit. So you have to be real crazy with it. You have to be just like outlandish, essentially a caricature of what your side represents, because that's the only way people watch it anymore.
Well, I think if you're like disrespectfully, like, somebody says, hey, like, I'm a woman, blah, 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 blah. If you slip up, that's one thing. If you're doing it in a hateful way, it's a different thing. Like, just be decent to people. That's it.
I'm not going to partake in their fantasies.
Yeah.
Just shut the fuck up, man. Like, goddamn. Like, it is so easy. There ain't been a motherfucking law change, nothing fucking changed just because someone was like, I'm a woman. Ain't nothing happened. Look, bro, just shut the fuck up. If you can't comprehend it, you can't wrap your mind around it, bro, just shut the fuck up. It doesn't fucking affect you. If there was one day, if they were, lawmakers were like, you have to bow down to transgender people and allow them to cut in front of you in line when you're at a grocery store, start talking shit.
Yeah.
Start fucking talking. But other than this, man, and they'll be like, well, they're attacking our children. How about shut the fuck up? Because you got a whole motherfucking list of people, rich people, who are attacking your kids. What the fuck happened with that? Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. We went back to the who might be fucking with our kids. That's why I can't stand that shit, man. Like all these fucking, there are big podcasts out there that still talk about, well, this person, they need to be checking, his history. Y'all have a whole motherfucking list, and until you do something about that,
and they're never going to do
shut the fuck up, man. Like this whole deporting Mexicans, man. Like I already told y'all, Mexicans my favorite race. When I die, if there's reincarnation, bro, put a sombrero on me, baby. My thing is a motherfucker, they wake up and they do the jobs that nobody in this fucking country wants to do at all. Not even in their fucking, like, bro, just, once again, white people and black people are, y'all like to think that y'all are just like completely different and y'all are separated and y'all have these just like fucking unique cultures. Y'all might have different shit that goes on inside of your house. Y'all are the same motherfucking people with the same greed, the same what is it? The opposite of empathy. apathy. You have the fucking apathy for everybody fucking else. Y'all are one and the same. So if you were going to deport people, if we're like, hey, we want to make this country better, just go to a Sheetz at sundown and just take the people that are in front of it, bro. Like the people that are like barraging you about, hey man, you got 75 cents. If you did that instead of going after Mexicans, like the fucking country would be better.
The people that aren't actually contributing and could contribute but choose not to.
What about all the gang members? Every fucking race has gangs, okay?
Well, then get rid of the gangs, but not the people that aren't in the gangs.
We're cool with that, but also go after the white and black gangs too. Like fucking deport them. Don't deport the Asian ones though, because for some reason they're the only ones that when you think about like an Asian gang, you're like, oh, that's cool. Like, bro, once
they got swords.
Once you're riding crotch rockets and using swords and shit, like you have transcended gang culture into something that's like, all right.
You gonna include all this in your manifesto?
Yeah, in my manifesto, and that's why I targeted no Asians. Fucking Jesus! All right, we're gonna get to some advice.
And we started a new rule. I told Mike he's not allowed to shuffle these anymore because we have so many, and if we keep mixing them up, like a lot of these aren't gonna like surface. And we have a stack.
So. We'll get to what we get to. Okay.
Yeah, we'll get to all of them at some point in episodes. But
because if I just read through these, how am I going to be able to dissuade people with my flip-floppy political speaker?
Isn't it going to be funny when the stack's like this tall and we just can't get through them all?
Maybe. All right, here we go. I don't think it'll ever get that big, Dylan.
That's what she said.
That's what I said when I was a kid, and then puberty really surprised me by confirming what I thought. All right, the title says, My Dad Isn't My Dad. Listen, we've all been here. Dear Mike and Dylan, I'll try to keep this concise.
Lies.
You failed. But that isn't my strongest quality. To start with a little backstory, my parents split in 2017 by my mother just randomly leaving one day saying she was done, packing up, and driving away. At this point, they had been married for roughly 22 years. I was 25 at the time, married, and my wife and I lived on our own. We also have younger siblings, 21, 16, at the time, both living with our parents. After my mother left, me and my siblings cut all ties and communications with her for quite some time. Eventually, my sister, the youngest, got back into touch with her, and they have a close relationship, and she has cut our father out. I have also cut my father out roughly 2 years ago after finally realizing the kind of person he is. A master manipulator, narcissist, man whore, and just overall a shitty person with a bunch of other negative qualities I won't get into right now. Anyways, to get up to what I'm asking for advice on. Nice. All right, I like the preclude. We got some backstory. Often people will be like, listen, bro, is my wife a bitch for doing this? And I was like, well, what happens?
Oh, give us some details.
Right. Unless it's like one of those like nuclear moments in a relationship.
She sucked 3 guys' dicks in front of me.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, well,
I don't need much more than that.
Yeah, I don't need much more than that to be like, hey, also, I don't know why you sent this in.
What did you do to make her suck 3 dicks?
I want to know what you did to have to send this in for advice for me to be like, to pick a fucking ethical side.
Hey, just for don't pull the maps, mayonnaise dick.
Yep, mayonnaise dick. Last year, my wife convinced me into doing an ancestry.com test that she was already going to do because she wanted to find out more on our family history, and my knowledge on that was slim because nobody ever really wanted to share that stuff with me, and I no longer had communication with either parent. After doing the ancestry test and seeing the results and apparent relatives I've never heard of, we got inquisitive. My wife loves doing internet and Facebook deep dives on people. All women do.
Yep.
Just, we have it rough out here, brother.
Did you see this 5 years ago?
All of them are detectives. Yeah. So through her digging, found out a couple different options. But either way, the man that raised me and I was told was my father was not my real biological father.
Isn't that pretty much your story? Except for not through ancestry and all that stuff, but like,
I mean,
you went the longest time thinking that your dad that was there was your dad, but it wasn't.
Right. No, he was not there.
Well, till you were 3. And
yeah, like I said, I had the real dad. He left before I was born. And then the dad that was like, I'm going to step up and raise this boy. He left when I was like 4. So
it was all your fault too.
It was. Yes. I'm a terrible kid.
There's a full episode. I think it's like episode 3. We should like get like so then when we drop these, we're like, yeah, go back to episode 3 for Mike's family history episode.
I don't know if people, when they start watching a podcast, if they go back to episode 1.
Well, most people listen, Mike. I know you keep thinking that people watch
I
our
don't know
podcast,
how. Listen, I don't know how podcasts work. After debating for a month on what to do, I finally got in touch with my mother recently, and she did tell me the truth, or at least her side of the story to my life. Apparently, my biological father was a guy she dated back in the day and was a serious relationship. But after finding out she was pregnant with me, he said she was to either get an abortion or get out of his house. So she left him and kept me, and never had any more connection with him. But now to this day, I'm 33 years old and just found out that my dad isn't who I've been told he was my whole life by everyone in my family, and had kept it a secret from me.
The one that raised her wasn't actually her dad. Yeah.
That's what I got. I got that.
Okay.
I got that part.
What part are you confused about?
Then had the youngest a handful of years later. So my siblings are only my half siblings as a surprise to me, and I have a whole other side of family members that were unknown to me until now. I'm going to turn this piece of paper. Should I try to connect with my bio father and or other family members after finding all this out? More than connecting with him, I'm curious about any possible family health history, as I have been running into more health issues as well. Also, my main concern is that everyone lied to me my entire life until now, and that doesn't really help me want to recreate any family ties with anyone who knew all this and never said anything. Hopefully that didn't take too long to make the show. Sorry, I tend to ramble like Mike during longer stories, but wanted to make sure to include everything as possible to help my situation. Love all the content, and it's one of the things I look forward to listening to get me through my workday. Keep it up, guys.
Aww.
All right, so look, reconnection. At the end of the day, anybody can tell you anything that they can give you any kind of advice, whatever. You ain't gonna feel better until you do what you want to do. Me, I was like, I talked to him and everything like that, but when it came time to meet him, I was like, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I too had one shitty side. I looked at the other side. I was like, look, can it be any better? Just because somebody shares blood with you, like I said, all the blood relationships I have met people who do not share my blood that care about me more as a person than they do. So ultimately, talking to these people is up to you. I think that talking to your bio father is only going to cause pain, because he obviously told your mom he was like, get an abortion or get out of my house. So I don't think over time he would have grown to like you, grown to love you. You know what I'm saying? Like missed you in any way, shape, or form. But once again, that is you're going to have questions, you're going to have unanswered things until you try to talk to them. As far as other bio family, listen, you're pretty much correct. Like you can recreate those family ties, and then maybe like one of them like you really fuck with, and you share similarities and stuff, and you have a good relationship. That's cool. But also there's just like people who share they share the same interests as you do, that they share the same things you like and shit, that are not going to be blood related, that you can have just as good of a connection without them having to be family. So the whole family thing is really blown out of proportion. Just because someone is blood to you, honestly, you should not give them any bias. If they're great to you, that's amazing. Having a great father, having a great mom, having a great, sibling, grandparents, whatever, that is really, really good. But a lot of people aren't going to have that. A lot of people do have it. A lot of people aren't going to have that. And you're not going to be able to, brush that off as easily because of the whole idea about somebody being blood connected, that they are, owed certain, like leeway and shit in life. Like they could fuck up so many amount of times because they're blood related to you. Like they could fuck you over or whatever. And then that you're supposed to for some reason magically forgive them. If any stranger did that to you, you'd be like, fuck that guy. Like, I don't want to hang around that person. So ultimately that's your shit. I do hate that you have a shitty father and what looks like a shitty mother also. Two pretty poo-poo parents. I am going to assume, because of how your mom and dad are, that the man that even before he was like abortion or get out of my house, the man that she was with, I'm probably assuming she doesn't pick great people. So like I said, it's ultimately up to you, because no matter what I tell you, if you're the type of person that can't, you have to have closure, then you're going to have to get the closure. So I don't know, just sit back and decide on whether emotionally you can handle meeting people that are probably not going to, now, the siblings and shit, maybe, but ultimately another parental figure that's not going to really care about you.
Yeah, me personally, just from like your backstory and everything, I think finding the dad is the least of your concern. I think finding family that might be related outside of that, like if he was a shitty guy, doesn't mean that everybody else in that family is a shitty person. But I mean, if it is something that's like missing in your mind now that you don't know part of your whole life, it's worth like looking into and finding some information on.
Or just do drugs, man. That really fills the hole pretty well. Just fucking snort your line of coke and see how much you care about it.
You know, I spent like 5 minutes while you rambled on and didn't interrupt you once to let you finish your
That was
thoughts.
important. If it's important, I feel like we should say it. Okay.
Yeah.
If it was important.
But I feel like it's one of those things where, you know, you are in a situation where you might... Are you biting your tongue over there?
No, I was just fucking with you.
But if you feel like it's going to add to your life by just kind of pulling on that thread, and you don't actually have to have anything good come of it. Like you could meet them and they could be shitty and you're like, okay, well that's done. But the mystery of that side of things, I could see where you would want to reach out and like at least find out who these people are, especially if they're like somewhat close in your geographic area where you're not having to travel from like, you know, New York to California to do it. I think if it's pretty easy, it's worth if you do have that mystery going, just go ahead and pull that thread, make the connection, say like, hey, yeah, your dad was a piece of shit, right? Oh, yeah, like he was my biological dad and told my mom to get an abortion.
Oh, yeah,
like,
they could totally fuck with each other on that, yeah.
And so you might, and whether you guys become friends or family or anything after that, that's, you know, up to you guys and how the relationship plays out. But if it's like there's something there that you want to just like kind of put a bow on, go do it. But if it's something that you really don't care about and you're worried about hurting yourself in the process of finding out all that other stuff, leave it alone. But like it's really a personal decision, and like some people really have to know all those details, and some people are cool like, well, yeah, that was the past.
And if you're a freak, you have to realize that oh my god, step sibling I'm stuck in the dryer is a lot different than oh my god, half sibling I'm stuck in the, that's what
taboo.
That's what creates those lumpy babies. All right, so we're gonna get into the next one. Yeah, just ultimately, it's if you want closure or not. Once again, there are other options: doing drugs, just not giving a fuck and going about your day, man, and enjoying your life with your friends. And your girlfriend seems pretty good, so I think you are definitely turning the corner on the whole life shit. All right, so this one, the title of this one is "Am I the Asshole for Testicle Pain?" Which I was like, I don't know how this could be written to where.
Well, she ties him up in like with rubber bands and stuff, and he wants to take the rubber bands.
You know
off,
a lot about the BDSM stuff.
I'm just thinking it up in my head right now.
What does BDSM stand for? Big dick muscle.
No, I can't remember.
Serpent? I don't fucking know. Big dick muscle serpent. Muscle serpent is a great one, bro. Yeah. And then she hopped on my muscle.
It's masochism, isn't it? And then it's not sadism. I have no idea. We're gonna get roasted by anybody that's like, well, especially
we're gonna get roasted by people that are like, I watch a ton of BDSM.
That's what all those like romance novels are.
Is
like,
that all of them, or is that just?
Well, that was 50 Shades of Grey, and
bro, my wife listens to those books all the time, and I call them smut books, and she's like, they're fantasy books about like fighting dragons and stuff, and it's crazy how every time I just happen to walk in while she's listening to one of these books, it'll say some shit like he sheathed his cock inside of me, and I was like, that's a fantasy book about dragons? Yeah, his meat dragon. So smut books. So I always call them smut books. She hates that shit. I, 31 male, have a girlfriend, 27 female. We've been together for 5 years. Sometimes we go out with her mother's friends, and my girlfriend's brother, 17 male. Sometimes we go out with her mother's friend and my girlfriend brother, 17 male. Okay. Today, we went to our mother friend's house because the previous tenants left without notice, and we all went together in one car to check the property out. On the way there, we were packed in with 5 people, 2 in the front and 3 in the back in a small car. 2 in the front, 3 in the back, brother.
Have you seen that porn?
Yeah, that does sound like a porn. I previously had damage done to one of my testicles, and if I touch it in any way, I have a sharp pain. And when we were jam-packed in there, I started having pain and decided to stretch my legs out a bit. My girlfriend's brother started to fight me about the space and stretched his legs out even more. I had to close my legs completely, and the pain started to get worse. When I looked over at him, he was sitting comfortably, and when I asked him to give me more space, he told me to stop complaining. Later, when he made a comment saying he feels better in that spot, I commented, yeah, because you have all that extra space. And then my girlfriend said to stop complaining about it. I had to tell them I had pain, but was ignored. I then became irritated because I had pain for almost an hour and I got quiet and didn't speak to anybody. Later, when we got home, my girlfriend became angry with me, saying I was rude and started ignoring me. I expressed myself that I was in pain and was angry that she had sided with her brother, and I only wanted space, not because it was unfair he had more room, but because I was in pain and wanted some leg room. She's still ignoring me and is very angry with me. What should I do? So, am I the asshole for being angry about my testicular pain? You a 31-year-old man.
Well, and
you smack that 17-year-old in the head and you be like, close your fucking legs, boy. I got man nuts over here. Man nuts. You hear me? I backhand the shit out of you. And then when my girlfriend was like, you can't hit my brother, I'm like, bitch, that is literally the relationship. Like, we're together. And if you ever want to get married, that's going to be my brother-in-law. And if you telling me I can't smack my brother-in-law inside of my head, brother-in-law, first word is brother. So I'm going to treat you like a brother. I'm going to smack you upside your head, tell you to close your goddamn legs.
Well, he's 17.
And 17, yeah. You balls ain't got that much semen in it, boy.
Well, and the thing is obviously if you have testicular pain, isn't that communicated with your girlfriend? Like, doesn't your girlfriend know that you have an issue with your balls? Like, I mean, rough sex and stuff like that. Wouldn't she know that, hey, maybe we cater to his
It could be one of those situations where, like, you know, you're hanging out with a group of friends and you're like, all right, look, I'm gonna get on all fours, and you push Jimmy over me. It's gonna be real funny. We're like, all right. So we do it, and then Jimmy's laying there and he's like, you guys know I have back pain and back surgeries and I got back condition. I'm like, well, this is breaking news. Bro, that is breaking news. You have never mentioned that not one time in your life.
My bad.
Not a singular time. Yeah, sometimes you gotta be, you have to be assertive, especially as a man. You got to be assertive, because as soon as you are not, like, if you, once again, not a lot of situations arise, don't you? Like, if you're at a grocery store and shit, there's not going to be many situations that arise where you got to fucking, you got to be a man. You essentially got to man up. I'll give you,
well, I wouldn't be riding bitch in a car if there's a 17-year-old, like, you sit next to your sister. Like, I'm sitting over here and I'm man spreading or whatever they call it. Like, no, I'm not. I wouldn't even put myself in the position of, like, where were you sitting in the middle? Like, girlfriend sit in the middle or whatever the fuck. But,
I'll give them two examples of what I mean. Okay. So Speedway, I'm there every day.
20 minutes later.
Yeah. Speedway every single day. I go there. I'm gonna give you two different scenarios that happened. One scenario, like, I'm standing there. A guy had already been standing there and he's holding, like, all of his stuff. And I'm standing in a way where it kind of looks like I'm ahead of him. It's one of the, two lanes. You're supposed to line up in one, but nobody knows how to do that because we're all Neanderthals. Jesus, that's one thing that pisses me off. If you don't know how to use a dual lane drive through or a dual lane line, it's just super fucking annoying. So then it opens up and the guy shifts his, he's like, go ahead, sir. I was like, I don't know, bud. You were standing here first. Like, just go ahead and do it. Which obviously that guy was, just
being polite.
Yeah, well, not. Oh. Well, you should have, because he fucking just, like, shifted his head down real quick and just was like, oh, no, go ahead. And I was like, oh, no, you were here first, man. Like, go ahead. But then also, I'll be standing there and then somebody will, like, go to walk up and I'll put my hand out. I'm like, you see me standing here? You thought you can just walk up and I'm like, nah, I'm gonna walk up there and fucking, I'm gonna walk up to the line. Obviously, some people are going to be confrontational. Yeah, non-confrontational. And they're not going to want to do that. But you got to be assertive, especially because you're going to get, especially in this world, you're going to get taken advantage of if you are not fucking just at least, because I think people think that being confrontational will lead to aggression or like I said, I even worded it like, you see me standing here? Like, I worded it like a dick. I know 100%. You guys could tell how I talk to people, out in public. I'm not like a dick, but it's normally not the way it's supposed to come off. 99 times out of 100, shit's not going to escalate to a fight. Like, no person, and especially a person that understands anything about fighting, is not going to want to fight over something as mundane as that. So you're pretty good. You could just you got to cut in line. In that situation, you do have to be like, man, give me some fucking leg room, especially if they know about your testicular pain.
Yeah.
I ain't doing that whole...
just be transparent about it. Be like, my fucking nuts hurt.
Yeah, bro, my nuts hurt, man. Yeah. Like, goddamn. Fucking...
You got little 17-year-old nuts.
Why did they put the men in the back, though?
I don't know. Respect for the mom and the friends.
Fuck that shit. Once again, fuck that shit.
But, like, why wasn't sister in the middle or brother in the middle? Like, why... Like, he had to have been in the middle for it to be, like, that closed in. Or else... homeboy was in the middle and
Were
he was
their knees
spreading,
touching?
But like I would just push. Like whose legs are stronger, yours or the 17-year-old?
If it was my brother,
push it open.
I'd sack tap the shit out of him. Now, if I was riding in a car with my oldest brother, I would like try to shift my legs in, because I shit you not, man, when we were 15, we were out at my dad's house, and
he did air quotes for that for the listeners.
Yeah, my cousins were there. So you get a bunch of fucking, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna wrestle. It's WWE when we all get together. Boy cousins, like all we do is fight. And like, you know, videos you see where people are like picking each other up and slamming people through tables and we're jumping off of houses and shit. That's what happens when boy cousins get together. That's the type of shit that would happen. So we're out there wrestling and shit. And my cousin Rodney goes up to wrestle my brother. And while they're wrestling, Rodney falls on my brother's nuts. Crushes it. Crushes it. Like the way a testicle is it's round.
Yeah.
His is not like, when you think of crushes, it's flat. It's when it's anything other than a shape of oval. Yeah. It fucked the shit up. And he said it was like the size of a mango for, I was never like, show me your nutsack. But he said it was like the size of a mango for a month. And it was fucked up. But the funniest part about that scenario was, while he's sitting there on the ground in the fetal position, like screaming in agony, there's this beautiful little butterfly flying around his ass. And sometimes it would land on his ass, and then it'd like get back up and it'd fly a little bit and it'd land on his ass again. I just thought that was funny.
So a funny nutsack story is, I don't even remember who did it. Oh yeah. Okay, so we were over at my friend's house, his cousin's house, and like he was, I want to say we were like 15 or 16, and he was like a big coke head, and so he was trying to get all of us to try coke and whatever. His girlfriend walks in, the coke flies, like he throws the coke away, and like she gets mad, blah blah blah. But in that night, he walked away and he's like, "Did you lose your bubble gum?" And like one of the kids liked bubble gum a lot, so he's like, "Yeah, I lost my bubble gum." And so dude like turns around, unbeknownst to us, pulls his nutsack out from his fly and then has it, and then he turns around and starts digging in his pockets, so you're looking at his pockets, but then there's just a nutsack hanging out. And so like literally for years I did that. Like that was like my go-to thing. Like I would just pull my nuts out. Like I did it in gym class. I did it, we were on a canoeing trip, and like actually,
what would you do? Just pull the skin out?
No, you pull your balls,
the whole
out.
balls.
Like, yeah, you pull them out through so that they're just dangling out there. And we used to do it so much that like when I was still living up in New York, we went on this canoeing trip down one of the creeks, and while we were doing it, me and my buddy, we stood up and like, "You guys lose your bubble gum," and we did it, and nobody reacted to it. They're like, "No, we're not falling for that." And so me and him both just dropped trow, and then we just started canoeing, standing up, so that there was no way of avoiding.
Look, people don't think about that until they're getting like arrested, because like a kid was like,
well, we were back in the, like, I mean, going down the creek, there's no houses, no nothing. And so it was just me and like 6 friends.
Ruined my funny joke. Couldn't even finish it.
Yeah,
it was going to be hilarious.
You interrupt my story. And
we would have been able to clip that and then put it out on the internet, and then people would actually watch the podcast.
You could still tell the joke now after I've finished my thought.
You know, I want to talk to the listeners real quick, okay? Tell your mom about the podcast. Tell your friends. Tell somebody you love. Don't they deserve to laugh? Don't they deserve to be happy? I understand. You're like, man, when these guys explode, I'll be able to say, hey, I was there before they exploded.
You know what you could do too is
but we have to explode to get to that point.
On Reddit, not on Smosh or Too Hot Takes or anybody else's Reddit, but like on like the podcast Reddit, when people are like, "I need a new podcast to listen to."
Oh no, that's so cool. That's so corny though. Just tell people, just be like, all right, go on to like Reddit /
podcast.
Is it podcast?
There's podcasting, podcasts are us, podcast. I don't know. There's a million of them.
I don't know. It's so weird too, because everything that I see with podcasts is always just crazy shit. It's just, I'm like, "Hey Dylan, did you hear about that one time where my mom," and Dylan's just sitting there like, like fucking laughing his ass off.
I think the bulk of podcasts though is all business people trying to like get coaching clients and get like,
oh bro, we could sell shovels on this. Like, do you want to be able to take your business into a 7-figure business? Yeah. Why don't you sign up for my course?
That's your slightly ethical crypto.
And it's like, bro, what business do you have? But the crazy thing is, and I try to tell as many people on TikTok, like I'll see a post and it was like, all these TikTok, and I am the TikTok, guru guy, and they'll have like 9,000 like 9,000 followers, and I'm like, well, why don't you use your tips?
Yeah.
And then I
No.
tell people just don't fucking.
Well, that's the thing though, is it's easy. And in all honesty, like having a coach that hasn't necessarily done it can guide you. It's weird, but like technically, like I mean, I've had like a lot of video coaches and stuff like that, and like they built something, they did it like probably as successful as I ever got my business, and then they started teaching other people how to do it. And in all actuality, they did help those people grow a business, but it's one of those things where like, yeah, why don't you do like
Right. Well, I mean, this is also not like a tangible quality like martial arts and shit, because you know it's those who can do and those who can't teach. But like that involves, if someone's teaching, that means they couldn't do it at the highest level, essentially. Okay. And then you just got fucking business people who don't know anything about business. They're just like, follow and I will give you the 10 best things that's going to turn your business into a success.
well, and actually
Number 1, have something to sell. This one may seem like really simple, but you got to have a product. Number 2, show that product to people who want it. I'm not going to elaborate because I don't know how to fucking do that.
See, if you didn't say it in such a cheesy way, we could put that on TikTok. And like that was my next point, was that like that type of content does so well because people save it, they send it to somebody that's doing social media. Like that content of like go viral on Instagram, it goes so well just because people are like, I want to go viral on Instagram. And so it actually performs the metrics, like DM me for whatever. And so then there's a bunch of comments and like
I should just do an hour-long video and tell everybody what I do. Because on short form, we've essentially got that figured out. And we could grow a pretty like banging YouTube, except for there's not really a niche that I'm like, I want to wake up and make content about this every day.
Yeah.
Because essentially at the end of the day, if you don't like what you were talking about, you're not going to like what you do, no matter if it's like being a content creator.
Well, and there's always that hill that you got to climb before like it actually starts performing. So you have to put in a shit ton of work.
With all the knowledge that we have now, God, we could fucking sell a course. Let's do it. Fucking buy my course. It's only $7,500.
It's so funny because Mike,
if I get people in a crowd, I'll be like, it's only $7,500, and I judge their face like, what? But we're having a sale. It's $7,000 off. It's only $500, and then you'll be, oh, okay.
and then we'll add in.
No, they get too happy, but there is like an added course bro, that's so good. We should do a skit like that. That's one thing I do want to get back into is making skits. Except for skits, once again, it takes to do it. The only shitty part is when I do something, I want to like do it, and I want it to look like great. What sucks is we have no money, so costumes is hard. The hardest thing is finding other people. That's the worst fucking part, is to find people to like play in the skits and shit. And of course, there's going to be people that hear that now and are going to message me. They're like, hey, buddy, I live in Missouri, but I'm down. How the fuck am I going to make that work? I just said, A, I'm broke. Okay. And B, you're in Missouri. Yeah,
if you want to drive up here for a weekend, we'll shoot some content.
Don't say that, guy.
We're not doing it on our dime. You do it on your dime.
It's rough.
Well,
I do want to
have
get back
show
to
us
that, but I think that's a funny one because he's just like gauging it, and then they get like real happy, like, oh, $500. But if you really want to succeed, there's another course that we tack on for $1,000, and that is our definitely going to make it course. And everybody's just like, what, like $1,000? But we're having a sale on that one too. It's only
$999.
Look, the 900 and what is it? In 27 cent. Then what they tell you to do? Don't do 99 cent.
It's like $9.97 is like the
do 27 because the human brain is formatted to think sevens are cool. I don't know what fucking.
Well, there is actual like science behind it. So C Penney basically went out of business because they did fair, honest pricing. And so like a $20 pair of pants that they marked up to $60, put on sale for $20, you're still getting a $20 pair of pants no matter what. But they said that it was a $60 value.
Yeah.
And people actually stopped shopping there because they wanted the $60 pair of pants that were being sold for, they want the sale. And so like if you say, like if we all of a sudden started listing our shirts as like they're $50 shirts, but we're selling them for $33. Like people actually
stop giving away the sauce. Stop it. Stop it. All right, guys, look. Also, that really goes funny.
Yeah.
With the Labor Llamas having a sale, the hoodies, because it's fucking summertime, it's hot as shit, are 30% off. And you can use the code MADHD30 to get 30% off Labor Llama hoodies. That is mine and Dylan's clothing company. All right.
And we're gonna let that run. Let's run that. We'll run that till mid-July. We'll tell you what the.
We just got to raise the price up now by 30% since you said
There we
that.
go.
Yeah, there we go. And then it's like back at the fucking price that
They're
it was.
$80
But it is
hoodies.
real. Yeah, we really have a 30% off sale going on Labor Llama. That's LABORLAMA.com. We got hats, shirts.
Yeah, that's
it. I don't know
Okay.
why I fucking didn't put an and in there.
So Mike jumped the gun. We're gonna do 30% for you guys listening. We're gonna do 30% off of everything. Doesn't matter whether it's hat, shirt,
Fuck
anything.
yeah.
30% off for listeners. Just for you guys.
We had a thing for the hoodies. That's why I got confused.
We're gonna put them on sale, but I'll have to figure out how to work the metrics of that so that it's not like 40% off and then 30% off.
So we have a friend. I'm not going to name drop him on here, but he's really, that's his whole life has been like clothes and shit like that. And he was like, "You boys are obviously." He's like, "You guys got a great product.
You guys suck."
Yeah, but you suck at marketing. Mike, you got to actually don't be like, "Hey, yeah, buy this. It's really good." But you don't have to. He's like, "Stop saying that shit." So he is
You have to buy this.
essentially what he's doing is he's guiding us in for us. So
Yeah.
he's grabbing it. He's like, obviously you can't find the hole. Yeah. And he's guiding it in. So, you can go to laborllama.com, use the code MADHD30.
All capital letters. Yeah.
Does that matter?
Yep.
Damn. MADHD30 to get 30% off for podcasters, anything.
Anything.
Not reach arounds though, because
Those are free.
that ship has sailed. All right. So the title of this one says, alcoholic friend ruining his life. Really?
That happens.
Alcoholic friend? Look, all I want is just alcohol and gambling. I get it. It's bad, okay? Cigarettes are also bad. But I don't see commercials that's like, "It's so fun to smoke. This shit'll kill you when you're 60, 70 years old. You'll get cancer. You'll get a hole in your throat." Not one about alcohol that's like, "Look, this is fucking up your liver." Not gambling about, "Oh, you're going to go poor." If you see an alcohol and gambling commercial, like an alcohol commercial, everybody's just like hanging around having a good time. Like, "Oh, this is so great. Look at all my friends are here." No.
Well, they always have a disclaimer at the end, like call 1-800 for
Drink responsibly. That's all they got to put on there.
Yeah.
Why can't the cigarette companies just be like, "Smoke responsibly"?
because there's no responsible smoking.
There's no responsible gambling, essentially. No responsible gambling. No responsible fucking alcohol drinking.
Well, I mean,
drink
bingo is
poison.
gambling. You're saying bingo people are addicts?
Yeah. Yeah. If it takes, I don't know. Once again, there's going to be people like, well, the people who are...
I mean, playing
the
Magic
people
the
who knows
Gathering.
how to drink responsibly, like that's getting ruined by people who fucking... Listen, cigarette deaths are 100% blown out of proportion. They were like, this 80-year-old man, he died because he smoked cigarettes. Or he's fucking 80.
Well,
They'll be like, well, he got lung cancer. Most people who get lung cancer do not smoke cigarettes. You can say it increases your chances
Most
all day
people?
long. Yep, most people who get lung cancer have not ever smoked a cigarette. You can fucking look that statistic up.
But then there's also like, you know, workplace hazards and all this other stuff that cause...
Right,
like,
and then there's just like half of all humans will get cancer. That's just that's a fact
of our
of life.
food.
As you get older too, your body's no longer because a cancer cell is a cell that is growing. You have a cancer cell in your body
Yeah, it just
that grows
mutates.
every single day, except for your body knows how to fucking get rid of it. Well, eventually one grows and your body's like, we don't know what to do with it, and it fucking
well,
grows.
it's just a
and then you die.
mutated DNA sequence that
Right.
causes it to go out of control. But
But deaths from smoking and shit like that is dramatically blown out of proportion to where we can put alcohol and gambling, things that are going to ruin lives. They're going to kill you. Like that's going to fuck your body up.
a percentage.
Like if you drink every single weekend for 40 years.
binge drink. Yeah.
Yeah. No, if you drink every single weekend for 40 years, just that one day, and you drink eight to 10 beers, whatever your alcoholic drink is, only drink on Fridays and Saturdays, that's going to fuck up your body.
I mean, so's eating a fucking cheeseburger from McDonald's. Like,
I'm just saying we shouldn't have.
Where do you draw the line, though? Like, at what point are you like, you're responsible for your
Then
own
all
health?
I'm saying is, look at me out here fighting for Newport.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is let Newport make a goddamn commercial where they're like, so fun.
No, don't make any
Like,
of
why do I have to get? But also that creates a stigma of people out there smoking. Like, oh, look at those nasty degenerates out there.
Well, just get back to smoking a pipe, like just a little.
Where a guy who's drinking every single fucking day is. Well, yeah, the pipe is classy.
Yeah.
But if we make a movie also, then I'm classy for smoking. Ha
But then it's rated R automatically.
Yeah.
Second a cigarette pops up, it's rated R.
Is it really?
Yep.
Are you serious?
100%.
I think you're fucking lying.
Nope.
Are you kidding? You're not kidding at all.
Nope. It's
That's what I'm saying. But I
for
can
adults only.
I could drink alcohol. I could be 13 years old sleeping with an adult, showing the not showing nudity, but showing that's fucking weird, bro. That's got to be rated R.
Wait, where's that at?
That movie 13, I guess that's what it's called.
Oh, I don't know.
It's like one of my wife's favorite movies.
Mm.
It's about a 13-year-old girl who meets another girl, and then they're just like, okay, it's like Peer Pressure, the movie, essentially. That's what they. Oh, fuck! Who said it? Fuck y'all for making fun of my essentials. Because people are like, they're like, man, Mike says
only one person noticed.
Listen, I don't care. One person noticed. But
Essentially.
Don't you love it how when one person notices something I do, I'm like, everybody's saying it.
Yep.
And then if everybody says something that's like negative or
in
the
support of me or
yeah,
something.
yeah. Mike keeps interrupting Dylan. I'm like, that's just, bro, it's 10 people out of
a few people.
Yeah, that's a few people, but one person says something about my essentially, okay? Essentially, you suck my nuts, all right? We're going to get into the story now. Alcoholic friend ruining his life. Message, Mike and Dylan. I need to know if I'm going to be an asshole in a situation or not, but I also need some advice. So let me know if I'm going to be an asshole while giving some fan-fucking-tastic advice. All right, I like it. Very confident in the advice that he's going to give.
Has he seen the show or heard it?
I'm confident. Listen, if the advice is stupid, I'm still confident in it. I'm a very confident moron. If you're gonna be tough, you got to be dumb. One of my best friends who I've known for 10 years has always been a real heavy drinker. Let's call him Billy Bob. Like a really heavy drinker. I'm talking about how he would drink any type of alcohol. It didn't matter if it tasted good or not. Billy Bob was fucking drinking it. My other friends and I really never thought anything of it when we first met because we were in college. We were all drinking a lot and not exactly on Billy Bob's level. Fast forward to today and he still drinks like that. Billy Bob is 31 and just recently got married. All of the wives within our friend group all had a venting session about him and how his drinking is affecting their marriage. All of the wives within our friend group all had a venting session about him and his drinking and how it is affecting their marriage.
I think it's probably just the wife.
I got it. But
Yeah.
Your husband's drinking really affects me. To be fair, she sort of knew what she was getting into when they first got together, but his drinking slowed down for about a month or two since they were going to have children. They are still trying to have children, but he is getting back into the heavy drinking. Look, brother's just like, it ain't gonna work. Throw me a beer. I am thinking that myself and my other guy friends in our group need to have an intervention type of hanging out with him when we meet up for our next D&D session. When he was over at my house about a month or so ago, he was having the shakes. I've never seen Billy Bob's hand shake like that before. Right then and there, I thought of this intervention idea. Over the past couple of years, myself and a few others within our friend group would make the comments about his drinking. We would then tell him that it seems odd and that it's a pattern and that every time we get together, regardless of what situation it is, Billy Bob was always obliterated while the rest of us would be slightly buzzed and chilling. I will note that I am not the best storyteller or writer. I am much better with numbers, haha, but I love your guys' shit. I've been following Mike for a long time, but let me know if I am the asshole for wanting to have an intervention after we have a D&D session and let me know what you would do. Obviously, if your friend is doing something, you got to you have to say, hey, and sometimes it's better than that one-on-one setting. You have that one-on-one setting, they don't have that realization. But if every friend's like, look, brother, you got this thing going on. Don't I really thought he was going to be like, we're thinking about just kidnapping him and taking him to this cabin and playing D&D session. And well, he'll die. He'll die if you. That's the shitty part about alcohol is that his whole withdrawal, his whole, quitting has to be done with medical supervision. That's one of the things about alcohol is if you are a super heavy drinker, you drink every fucking day, it is one of the withdrawals that can kill you. That and benzos. Yeah. So it's going to,
Can you just wean off of it?
No.
Lower your drinking?
Well, yeah. So I think that's what they do. They start to get the shakes. So they'll drink or take a shot. I don't know. I am not a medical professional. That is something that Billy Bob would need to get. Maybe you do need to consult someone in that field because once again, alcohol is one of the ones where withdrawal can kill you.
Do you ever watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
I've seen clips of it.
They did this one where it was just all of them and they're like, intervention. I think it was for Danny DeVito.
My favorite clip of it is the one where it's we need to make a song about how we don't diddle kids. We don't diddle kids. It's not good diddling kids. See, I know if I watch the show, though,
I think they were doing
because of how much I like The Office, it's gonna fucking consume my life.
I think they were doing like wine in like a Coke can or something like that, or Danny DeVito, or maybe a bunch of them were, but like they were doing wine in a Coke can so that they could just walk around and drink everywhere that they were at, but then like their lips were turning purple and shit. And then that's when I think they had the intervention. I've watched quite a few episodes of it, but it's been like 10, 15, or at least 10 years since I've really watched it.
No, it'll consume my life, and right now I'm playing a lot of Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Magic's
Priorities.
Magic's in a bad state right now. They got to ban like 4 fucking cards in the format before I can start playing. It's
all right,
just
let's
too
not
fast.
go into that 30-minute
I will, bro. I will. Look.
He did it the other day where he's like, I gotta go home. I think you even had to shit. You're like, I gotta go home and I gotta shit. And then we got outside. He's like, come outside while I smoke. And so we were out there talking. He went for 30 minutes straight of just like, well, see this card here. If you team it up with this and then you do mana.
I would 100% start a Magic the Gathering podcast. I would need a co-host that did know something about it. I know you love Mike and Dylan, but it would just be me explaining shit to Dylan while he's just like, all right, well, I don't. I'm just going to sit here and just listen.
And I do. I listened for 30 straight minutes. And
also, once again, that community. Because once you start going too far one way, all right, it's really hard to do anything. Also, if we, like when you have a podcast, when you create content, a lot of that is supported by like sponsorships and stuff, which is, when I was doing Steve and Mike, that was impossible because it'd be like an episode where fucking Steve raped me or something. I wouldn't be able to do it because I would 100%, 99% of my shit would be talking shit about Wizards of the Coast. Not really Wizards of the Coast. It's Hasbro now that owns Wizards. So it'd just be really, really hard. But I would do it, man. And I'd fucking rule. Those would be
like 6-hour podcasts.
It would be a passion project, though. I would do that 100% knowing that I wouldn't make any money on it. So once like this one or MADHD pops off,
once we get an
maybe
editor,
Labor Llama, maybe Labor Llama pops off, bro. I'll just start a for fun one. Where I'm just like, don't buy their fucking products. They're gonna do they just did a thing with Final Fantasy and a regular pack, $5. Now it's $8. Collector booster, they were fucking $24. These are $60. Look, hand me another. Look, I gotta get distracted. Have your intervention though. It is a good idea. All right, especially if the one-on-one setting's not really getting to them. How far are we into this one?
About an hour.
About an hour? Fuck. Look, this is an overtime.
The last one was an hour and 45 minutes. Bro.
Overtime advice. Wasn't that a special though?
No.
No?
It's just literally the one that posted yesterday.
Don't get used to it. Because look, Mike started talking about something he loved then. Must have been.
No, I think that was, I don't know.
The title says, I need some advice. Dear Mike and Dylan, first off, sorry, Mike, for making this so long. Look, so the people that are like, I made it long, it's not that long. And the people who are like, I try to make it short, it's 3 pages. That is so funny that always happens. Greetings from New Jersey. I love the podcast. It gets me through my 2-hour commute every day. Keep up the rambling. That's what makes it so great. I think it's hilarious how Mike always interrupts Dylan, God damn it. And every once in a while, Dylan's like, dude, let me finish my thought. Anywho, to get into the advice
That's only one person out of 10.
Well, look, we're going to continue reading the thing you submitted, okay? Anywho, to get to the advice I need, it's not funny or an am I the asshole situation, just straight up need advice from 2 good dudes. We are funny. We don't know if we are good or not. My wife, 27 female, and I, 24 male, have a 2.5-year-old daughter. I work as a lawn technician at a fertilizing company. I have been there for about a year and a half. I work 12-hour days, an hour and a half away from home Monday through Friday. That's the shittiest part too, because people will be like, well, 12 hours, you still have 12 hours in your day. No, the fuck you don't. You have the commute there, back. It doesn't like
sleep.
Yeah. You don't get there immediately and then get to leave fucking just like, right. It's so much shit. So I leave around 4:30 a.m. and get back to the house around 7:30 a.m. We're asleep around 10 or so I can get up early during the week. We only have about 2 hours together per day, minus the time for showering and cleaning and eating out and whatnot. Doesn't leave much time to spend together as a family. I love my wife and daughter. They are the most important things in my life, and I'd love to have more time all together or go out or enjoy my life. I should add, on Sundays, I do work on the side for most of the day, so Sunday is our only full day together. I really hope they're like, should I start a business? Because something in like this, there's a fuck ton of lawn companies. There's a fuck ton of lawns, though. Yeah. That's the good thing about that. There's a lot of like landscaping, doing all this shit. If you have something like that you can consider a trade that you can do on your own, you should 100% start doing it on the side, and then when you have a big enough fucking clientele base, start doing it full time. Because you're gonna get the money that you should be getting, and you're not going to have to work the hours that you should work. The best way to do that is while you're working, do shit on the side, get a clientele base. If you're someone who's in a trade working as a apprenticeship or something like that, you should already, be trying to, talk to clients, stuff like that. Because once you have, a good client list that you can sustain your life off of, that's a great base. And then when you're actually doing it, you could spend, some of your time doing the shitty part, which is advertising, talking to people. But since you already have a, big clientele base or just like a list of people that because if people, that's one good thing is people talk. If they're like, hey, who cut your grass? Like, this shit looks good. They'll be like, this person does. So that's if you already have that before you go into that business setting, do not. If you were like, ooh, I want to start a business, what should it be? Lawn care. And you know nothing about lawn care. Don't fucking do it. And you don't have any kind of clientele list. That's the best thing. So hopefully this is what this is about. I'm trying to start working for myself doing landscaping and construction. But right now, I only have 2 regular customers. I want to work for myself to be able to spend more time with my family and go out visit places, as well as be able to attend events with my daughter when she is going to school and whatnot in a couple of years. I currently make $25 an hour, so it's hard to take the leap of faith and quit without knowing how things will go. And if I leave, they won't accept me back again. What should I do? And at what point did you guys know you could quit and not have to worry about it and that you'll have enough for the bills? Never. Again, sorry it's so long and boring, but I trust you'll be able to make it funny. And also feel free to roast me. P.S. I love how both of you talk about how your wife and kids are so important to you. It's not as common anymore to find people like that. Keep up the great podcast.
Can I give a quick tip?
That's like that lady on TikTok who was like, I'm not going to mention that because I have not confirmed or denied if that was real. So I'm not going to say that.
So quick tip is I think first solution is to get your commute time back. There's, like Mike said, there's a million other landscaping things. So if you can find another one that pays $25 an hour that's 20 minutes away, you've just gained hours back to your day, which then allows you to now put more time into your side jobs and other stuff like that. If you still want to kind of keep the same work hours of putting in the effort to grow your side thing. But the biggest thing that's eating into your time is your commute. Get some of that time back because there's another option there. And then yes, you can start your own business. The big thing is with business, it's not, I guess with lawn care, it's different. With my business, it's project, nothing. And so there's always this feast and famine, at least with landscaping. If you're doing lawns and stuff like that, people are paying you month to month to month.
Right. It's a big difference between I need this guy, $50. Yeah. That's what I pay him versus a video package.
Yeah. And so the only thing I'll say on that front too is then find, the version of you where you get somebody to come out and help. And so if you do have to go do something, they're there to do it. That's my wife has a plant store and she hasn't somebody that works with her, but it's training them to be able to do a lot of the responsibilities and stuff so that you can, like Mike said, go out and market and meet people and try to figure out how to gain more customers. But you're still actually making money while you're doing those other things rather than just if I'm not out cutting lawns, I'm not making money. Figure all that stuff out because ultimately the best landscapers have a team of people. So they hit the lawn, there's somebody weed eating, there's somebody
they're there 15 minutes and then they're out. But also if you're doing it on your own, it may take longer, but you're not paying a whole bunch of people. So
but you make more money if you pay people. It's just that's why the businesses work.
Well, he's not going to be able to start off doing that unless he has any money.
Yeah, I mean, you get somebody that's off in the summertime because most of that work's going to happen in the summer. You find a kid that needs a summer job, and now he's the guy weed eating.
But what I would want to say is definitely making an LLC is not expensive.
No.
Making a website on Squarespace is not expensive. Putting those two things together, $50. And then another...
It's a couple hundred, but yeah.
For the LLC filing?
At least here in North Carolina, it's $150 to start it. It's $200 every year to redo.
I didn't have to pay that when I started mine.
Well, yeah, but you don't. Yeah, it's $150 to file the forms. It's $150.
Is it really?
Yeah, I do it myself. You can go through LegalZoom and all these other things, but technically, to file the actual paperwork, it's $150.
I just filed it for the state. I don't know. It was just for a resale.
And then
license.
It's $200.
That's the only reason I got it.
Yeah,
to get a resale license.
And then it's $200 every year to keep.
I would listen to that. I would listen to that. He is more knowledgeable on the LLC filing part than I am because ours, I didn't file that shit. So, but besides that too, just creating the website is what, $15 a month, I think.
Yeah, I mean
I mean you get you can buy a URL through Squarespace, whatever you name your business or want to do with your website, and then it's like $15 a month. So then you could look into like SEO, and that's just like how you word things on your website. So within your community, when they search it up, if your thing pops up before everybody else's. But then once you have that website, go around and fucking just print off a stack of fucking papers that talk about your lawn service. I'd have a little deal on it just so people are like, why wasn't this a business card? And fucking go to a Walmart and stick that in people's windshields. Just stick it as you walk down somewhere. Just fucking stick it in people's windshields. That's annoying.
That's technically called soliciting, and it's illegal in a lot of places.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Well, check with your local laws, because everybody wants you to go through somewhere to be able to advertise. But it's a great way. It's a great form of advertisement. But do that because it gets people talking. Well, and even if somebody doesn't like what you do, once they're thinking about they need lawn care service, your name's going to pop up. It's like Crazy Kevin Powell in fucking North Carolina. That dude's super fucking annoying. But when people think about a car or a place that sells cars, guess who's the first person they think about? Crazy Kevin Powell.
My
daughter went to a race because she goes to races all the time. She loves it. She heard him talk and she was like, Dad, I couldn't. I was like, man, I want that guy to shut up. And I was like, you'd be glad you're not subjected to radio, because back then that's all we had.
Yeah.
There was no connecting it to a car.
So the thing that I would say your biggest leverage piece right now is your two current clients. Offer them some sort of deal where like you're going to do next month's for cheaper if they get you, 3 or 4 leads. And it doesn't have to be people that have actually bought, but just get you in the conversation.
Right.
Because your customers are going to be your best advocates to get you new people. And so like once you get that 3rd and the 4th and the 5th, like you use those people to see if anybody else needs any of your services. Like if you put a new deck on somebody's house, like then be like, hey, do you know anybody else that their deck's old and, looking like shit and would like to maybe expand it or whatever? And like use the people that you're already working with, or even if you have people that have done like one-offs, just reach out to them and say like, hey, I'm starting to go on my own and I could use some more clients. Do you have anybody like relatives nearby or friends that would also use these services and would like, like my mentality of how I operate? If you know anybody, just give me their information and I'll cut you a deal on this next thing that I do for you.
Right.
It's like the antithesis of like what most things do. Like, Spectrum or like any of these cable companies, they're like, hey, sign up and we'll give you a, cheap thing. And then once you're there, it's like, okay, we're going to double and triple it. And then they're like, oh, you've been with us for 5 years. We're going to triple it again, rather than giving you a deal for being loyal.
Another time. And another thing is when you come across people in your community that do lawn care, just fuck with them. Like
befriend them.
Yeah, like once again, business is a competition. It's not a rivalry. All right. So you can be friendly with the people in your community that do the same things, because there's going to be a lot of times where they're like, fuck, we're booked, but we know this guy can do it.
And they want somebody that they can hand out your name and know that they're going to
you're going to do a good job.
So you look good. You make them look good by doing a good job. Like with video, we have like a group of us. There's like 80 of us in a Facebook group that are all here in North Carolina, and we call it co-opetition. So like we are cooperative, but we're also like fighting for similar things. But there's so many people out there, especially with lawns, but like even with video, like, I mean, there's so many businesses that I could talk to that have never been talked to by a video person. So it's not like there's not enough work out there for everybody. Don't go shuffling them.
No, I was looking at them because you said don't go shuffling. The next one's rather long. So I think now's a good time to wrap it up.
You like making these short. Everybody wants them to be longer, and you like making them short.
You said we were over an hour in before we started that one.
And people love the like hour and 45-minute ones, not the 45-minute ones.
Do they like the hour and 45-minute ones?
Yeah. Well, everybody's like as much rambling and banter, make them longer. Like that's once again your bias on the comments. Like not a single person's like, God, these are too long. But like literally there's been probably 15 that are like, go as long as you guys can.
Well, that was before like we started like consistently going over an hour. Now I'm scared of going like that too long. I haven't checked the watch time on one.
Let's get to a 3-hour one and then we'll talk about it.
Fuck that shit. I'm sweating in the city, man. I gotta just start
He just wants
a
a cigarette.
That delicious.
You want a little nicotine packet to get you through?
No, they are delicious and good for me. I love them. What do you? Listen. All right. Once again, I'm gonna start advocating, since y'all ain't gonna make the drinking is dangerous commercials or the gambling can ruin your family.
Why do more people need to smoke in order for you to be happy?
No, more people don't need to smoke.
That's what advertising
They shouldn't.
does.
It's just, it's like, we're not going to advertise something that gives people cancer and kills them. Alcohol does the same thing.
McDonald's, Wendy's,
Correct.
Taco Bell.
But you have to talk about like the ingredients and the actual carcinogens.
Yeah. Because they're trying to make the cheapest product that they
Right.
can.
So I mean, you can make technically anybody can make a commercial about anything. So you can make a list of carcinogens and be like, this is in Wendy's, McDonald's, whatever.
Yeah. But like I don't understand what your issue is with like cigarette companies not being able to promote. Like it doesn't affect you. You're still gonna.
Bro, you're doing a straw man. You're like Ben Shapiro
I'm
right
not.
now. Yes, I'm saying I feel like alcohol and gambling should not be able to have commercials where they're like, this is so fun and everybody loves it and everybody's having a great time and everybody's partying while they do it.
And at what point do you
Because
stop
alcohol-
that? Because like legitimately the shitty food like Cheetos and Coca-Cola and all the other things, like at what point do you say nobody can advertise? Because that's basically what you're advocating for. You've got an issue with alcohol and gambling, but it does not stop there. There's a ton of other things that aren't good for people that get to advertise. So like at what point the dominoes fall, do you stop advertising? Because legitimately obesity and all the other things that kill people, heart disease and all this other stuff comes from other things. So like I get you have an issue with gambling and alcohol, but they're not the end. So how far are you going to take that? You have that issue with those two, but there's a multitude of other things. So like you're mad about cigarettes, and so you want to lump those other two together.
Okay.
But then there's soda pop and food and
Right.
cosmetics and all this other stuff. Who else can't advertise if you want to knock down those other two?
I'm more speaking on the like the addictive ones.
Yeah. Cosmetics.
Oh God.
McDonald's.
The fast food is addictive and all
It
that
is.
shit. I mean, I understand it's addictive, but it's on a different level than fucking alcohol and gambling.
They're not.
No
really.
one's ever fucking ate McDonald's and ruined their whole fucking family because they
You're saying nobody
ate a bunch
at
of
all.
cheeseburgers. No kid has ever died in a fucking field because he overdosed on fucking hamburgers. Nobody's ever fucking done that. Nobody has ever fucking mortgaged their fucking house so they could keep eating hamburgers. It's never happened. I'm talking about the two. I understand you can eat McDonald's for 10 years. It's going to fuck up your health. Correct. That's the same way with alcohol. But nobody can go into a field. A 16-year-old cannot go into a field because it's so fun and it's so fucking fun to do. Eat a bunch of hamburgers and then die right there while all his friends fucking stare at him and laugh.
Okay, but see, this is like
That's where it stops
You
at.
have this thing of
Those
like,
two are the worst ones. I understand.
Okay, I get it, but like, let me finish this. You talk about puddle jumpers not killing kids. Like, it's the same thing. It's an irresponsible parent. It's bad upbringing. It's not teaching your kids the proper way to do things. Like, that exists the same way. It's personal
Yes.
responsibility,
Bro.
Like, you can't just
Now you're
make
going
everything.
into a different argument, though.
No, it's the same thing. You're saying that the alcohol is killing kids. No, it's the kids making poor decisions. It's them not understanding
adults
a
making poor
responsible.
decisions too. There are a bunch of people who die
And that's
from
fine. That's personal responsibility.
What is it called
though.
when you drink too much alcohol? Alcohol poisoning.
Alcohol
There's a
poisoning.
bunch of people that
Yeah.
die from alcohol poisoning. But then also too, not only the alcohol poisoning, you then have people who drink for fucking 10 years, then they get cirrhosis
There
and
have
they
been
fucking
people
die.
that literally have smoked a carton of cigarettes in a day and have died. So like what, like you're campaigning for cigarettes having commercials, but like
Well,
it's the same thing.
Wait, are you talking about like nicotine poisoning, something
Yes.
that's like super incredibly rare versus alcohol poisoning, which happens, there's deaths on that fucking every day. That's a big different, like, I should be able to say, hey, I think this without someone being like, well, this happens very fucking rarely. Why ain't you saying that? That's the argument that you're presenting. I'm saying that alcohol and gambling are the extreme addictives. I get McDonald's is addictive. Fast food is addictive, okay? Once again,
Social
you can
media is
have poor health. You can have poor health for 20 years and then shit'll start happening. Gambling, people fucking are, live paycheck to paycheck. Look how fun it is. You can become rich. Like, that is detrimental to people. People don't mortgage their houses over Coca-Cola, McDonald's, shit like that. They don't ruin their families over that shit. They don't fucking, like I said, eat a whole bunch of hamburgers. They die in a field. And then if they don't die in a field, they get cirrhosis of the liver.
But it's like, it is very equal to your puddle jumpers not killing kids, and it's an irresponsible parent that killed the kid.
What do you know? There is no, gambling, if you cannot handle gambling, you're going to ruin your life.
Yeah, but like that's a personal choice. Like it's just like somebody eating cheeseburgers every day.
That's what I'm saying. But then at that point, you should not be able to make a commercial about it going, look how fun this is.
But they do that with food.
It's not one or two people that fucking go off the rails on gambling. There's enough people where they have a fucking hotline for this. Like, it's not like McDonald's, bro.
It is because like our whole society is obese. Like we are obese as fuck.
Right.
And so is that not an issue?
It is an issue, and people do bring that up.
And they still get to go, oh, look at this delicious cheeseburger. It's the same exact thing.
It's not the same exact thing.
So you're
saying cocaine and McDonald's are the same exact thing?
Do they have cocaine advertisements? That's what I'm getting at. You're saying like they shouldn't be able to advertise. At what point do you cut that off?
Yeah, but you're taking something that is like not as bad as something just because something's fucking up here and then there's something down here.
It's a whole scale of a bunch of shit that like that's what I'm saying.
Well, you know, McDonald's does it, and so we can't make everybody not do it.
You're saying knock down alcohol and gambling. At what point do you stop? Because there are other things that are detrimental to people's health. They're addictive, like social media, people sitting on their ass watching TV all the time. It's a personal choice. At what point do you stop advertising
I don't see
all
any
the rest of the
social media advertisements? And I will admit, McDonald's is bad, but I think it's more of people being overeating and then also just not moving at all.
Yeah.
Like it's a culmination of things where it's not just McDonald's, where just gambling can fuck up your life. Alcohol
if you take it to an extreme, yes, you can.
But who like takes McDonald's? Who's eating McDonald's 3 times a week? Nobody's doing that. I understand there's shitty shit in food. I don't think
a bunch of people do not cook food at home and only like we had a person that only eats cheeseburgers and pizza.
Right.
And that exists. And there's plenty of people out there that are 800 pounds. Like,
once again, I don't care if like you drink or anything like that. I'm just saying.
That's what I'm getting at.
I don't feel like they should be able to. It's so fun.
I don't see them. I literally don't see any advertisements. Maybe
for
a Bud Light
every once in a while. Miller Lite and Coors Light and DraftKings and fucking.
I hear the DraftKings on like podcasts and stuff. But once again,
like on every single thing, I can't escape FanDuel and DraftKings and all of that stuff.
And not once has it made me want to do it. And like, if somebody wants to do it, that's their thing.
They're targeted towards kids. That's fun. It's targeted towards young people to go have this fun. And gambling it does the same thing to your brain as fucking drugs do with the serotonin release and shit like that. I understand McDonald's does it.
So does social media.
Yeah, like, not at the level that this does it. Like nobody is mortgaging. Like they're not fucking getting a second mortgage.
People are buying fucking Nikes or a nice fucking car. Yeah, they're overspending on things that they shouldn't overspend on and going fucking broke doing it.
That's not the same as people sitting in a casino like fucking shitting on themselves while fucking playing slot machines.
You're trying to dictate what people do with their personal choices.
No, I'm not dictating what people do. I'm saying they shouldn't advertise. The gambling companies, the alcohol companies shouldn't advertise for it. I'm not saying, I said, hey, if you drink and you gamble, that's fine. And I don't look down on you or anything like that. I'm just saying that it is something that is harmful and should not be advertised to young people. That is all I've said. I'm not dictating a single thing in anybody's lives.
I just don't agree.
It's okay to not agree, but don't then say, hey, well, McDonald's, hey, this. The next time you bring up a problem on a podcast, I say this, I'm just going to forget. We're going to forget about this like 10 minutes after the podcast. But I'm on fucking.
You're advocating for cigarette advertisements.
That is not, I didn't even, nope.
You said Newport should be able to say, ooh,
alcohol is able to say, hey, fun for young people. If gambling is able to say,
young people,
fun for young people.
Doesn't say it.
It represents it, bro.
You can read into it however you want to, but that's not what
you sound like. Well, yeah, they didn't say it.
You're trying to legislate something that is like it's already legislated. Like drink responsibly. Like what more do you want from them?
Cool. So that's what I'm saying. If something that is on, bro, alcohol, same scale as fucking tobacco and shit, kills both of them, kill a bunch of people a year. A lot of that is attributed to just people getting fucking old, and they'll be like, well, he smoked 5 packs of cigarettes a day.
You have a bias on that anyways. You have a bias because you are a smoker, and so you are going to be biased towards smoking is not that big of a deal.
I mean, it gives you heart disease, bro. It gives you fucking, it increases your chances for lung cancer.
One of the most addictive things that you could ever exist in this world. Like nicotine is like the biggest addictive source.
So is gambling.
Yeah.
I won't say for alcohol because I don't fucking, you know.
So are
I
you
haven't
going to
looked
get
that much into fucking alcohol.
Like, I mean, arcades with the little fucking grabby machine, that's gambling for kids. Are you going to get rid of the little claw machine because it's gambling and kids are wasting all their money trying to,
I've never seen a kid waste their money in the gambling or in the fucking claw machines.
Literally all kids at an arcade, they're like, ooh, I want the stuffed animal. And so they'll spend fucking $15
I
trying to get...
cannot comment on anecdotal.
It's not anecdotal. It's gambling. It is. You have the opportunity to try and get that. Like
you said, you've seen a bunch of kids at them. I'm like, I've never seen anybody at them.
Okay, but you haven't frequented them. Like they obviously make money because they're sitting there, and kids spend money in them all the time. That is gambling.
I don't have any information behind that. I'm just saying I can't comment on it because of. But the only thing I have is my anecdotal experience.
It's a kid's gambling machine. Should we get rid of those because it promotes?
Do you have the statistics on how often they are used?
Do you have the statistics on exactly how many people mortgage their house on gambling?
I can pull it up.
You can pull it up, and that's the thing is we're having a discussion, and I'm bringing up points that are saying, like, at what point do you stop? Is my point. You're like, they shouldn't be allowed to do this, but like,
I'm not saying no one should be allowed. I have never once said no one should be allowed.
Advertising.
How many claw machine advertisements have you seen?
But you're claiming that it's just for kids. It's not for kids. They're trying to make it exciting for everybody, and kids don't have fucking money. They don't have money. So, like, are they mortgaging their house because kids don't also have a house? Like, at what point
we can leave it like this?
Mike's right. I'm wrong.
The people will fucking comment who is right. And they'll be like, hey, Mike, this is like, think about this. Or Dylan, think about this. Because A, it's two people that do not have statistics in front of them arguing about something.
Yeah. And you have a vendetta. I'm just saying, like,
I have no vendetta against alcohol or gambling. Neither one of them have ruined my lives. Yeah. And I'm not sitting here being pro-cigarette either. I'm saying I don't care if you do those things, but you should not be able to advertise them to young people. And I don't care if you're like, they've never said, hey, young people, because it's all young people in their product. All product, it's all young people. When you do that, you are advertising to young people, the people in those types of environments.
In their 20s? Or like what constitutes a young person?
It's just
like,
a bunch of young people fucking partying.
Are they 14 or 15 or what?
No.
They're 20-year-olds, like people that are going to be using the product.
Okay, but then once FanDuel and fucking DraftKings goes to these content creators whose audience is 14 and 15-year-old people, you are then advertising to young people. They know what they're doing. It doesn't matter if you say it. It is by what you do.
And how much money do those kids have to spend on FanDuel?
It doesn't matter. If you,
and
14, 15 years old.
There's also regulations on whether you can gamble. Like there's age limits on when you can gamble. So like they have all those regulations in place. Like you're trying to dictate more regulations.
Does FanDuel or DraftKings ask for your ID?
I imagine so. I don't
know.
I don't either. But like I
guarantee you could just go on there and make an account without showing identification.
And that's assuming. Gamble. Like you can't go on to like.
I'm gonna see. I ain't got my phone.
Fuck. But that's the thing is like you are putting a bunch of assumptions, and you have a vendetta against those two. I don't care what you say. Like
there's no vendetta. Yes. There is you should not be able to advertise something that is going to fucking ruin somebody's life. That is that addictive. Like this is a different level of addiction than McDonald's cheeseburgers.
They advertise every fucking pharmaceutical that ever comes out. OxyContin was once on TV. Like, ask your doctor about OxyContin.
I don't think any pain medication had
I would almost guarantee it.
I think there's actually regulations against any narcotics. Like
now, I would guarantee that back in the day when it was hitting its prime, they were like, ask your doctor about OxyContin. It's sitting inside your doctor's office with a little cute pamphlet of a fucking hot chick with a puppy. Like,
well, you know, the advertisements is not for, it's not like it's for name brand things that like the brand is fucking doing the commercials on, which the brands are owned by like fucking Pfizer and all that shit. They're not like this just new medical company. It's just the name of the medication, but they're doing it for that. They know that doctors are going to prescribe the other. So I don't think they've ever made the commercials for OxyContin and any of the pain medication. They might have.
I would guarantee they did.
It'd have to be back in like the early 2000s,
but it's the same thing. Like and at what point do you stop? That's my thing.
But they don't do it. It doesn't
domino.
Happen. It doesn't happen now.
They do advertise pharmaceuticals, like
not narcotics, not the things that are addictive. And that's just because of the FDA and what they allow. The same fucking FDA that didn't allow marijuana for a long time, that doesn't allow actual good things in lieu of other things.
Yeah.
That just because I'm saying, you know, I'm targeting two, and you're like, we want to target all of them. That's cool. That's a fun, fantastical world that we can live in. But how about, it's so crazy to bring up a problem, like say, hey, these are, you know, two very big problems, and this is what I don't like, and I don't think that you do. Well, should you do it for McDonald's and all this other stuff?
If it's a problem, then you like that's my point.
But
what does that stop? You have demonized these two things, and I don't care what you say. You always lump this together as those are the two things that you won't fuck with, and I get it, and I understand why you don't want to support it. But to tell an industry that they can't advertise because you have a vendetta against it does not make sense.
Because they are on the same level of the other things that do not have advertisements.
Okay, and maybe one day that stops. But like
that's all I said. It was just a fucking passing thing.
No, it was not a passing thing. You said multiple times like, well, Newport should be able to have a happy.
No, didn't say that.
Yes, you did.
I said if you allow those things, they should allow cigarette companies, but they do not.
Newport should have a cool thing.
They are not allowed. They are not
like,
allowed to make their cigarette commercials.
Yeah. Because there was a big fucking lawsuit and all that shit happened and then regulations happened. But like ultimately drinking, smoking, gambling, all of that is a personal choice. If you get fucking marketed to and you decide to fucking pick up meth because, oh, it was a really cool commercial with fucking like young people. All the young people do meth. Like, I'm sorry, you made that choice to do fucking meth. Like the marketing did not make you like... It does not equal you being that person. Like, just because McDonald's advertised doesn't mean you automatically become a McDonald's customer.
Right. So, I don't know. That's a wild thing to say about the marketing of meth. Because, once again, we're taking something that we know is wrong. We know is wrong.
Wrong.
Like, you should not smoke meth because it is what? What's wrong with the meth that fucking...
I mean, they give it to kids in fucking ADHD medicine. Like, it's meth. It's a stimulant that fucking, if you were to take enough of them, it's like doing meth.
But we know that's wrong, correct? So then, why can't we just treat alcohol, who is on the same level of meth deaths, addiction, all that shit, and
because
just say, hey, don't show this fun fucking commercial where everybody's young and having a good time on
Having a couple beers is fun. You don't like to do it, but a lot of people do.
Okay, some people like smoking a little bit of meth. Does that make it bad?
And if fucking Walter White wants to put out an ad, then we're good.
I think we both want to argue about something, but don't know how to argue about it.
I know
that's what I think is happening. It's two people with ADHD trying to argue about something.
Yeah,
and we take the points in different directions. We're gonna watch this back and be like, this is the stupidest shit we ever seen. But y'all are gonna see it, and y'all are going to put in your opinions. And I really feel like the people who drink are going to be on the side of alcohol. The people that don't drink are going to be on the side of...
Well, there's responsibility in all of it. Like you can overdo anything.
That's what I'm saying. You can overdo anything. I'm just saying there's a scale of the most dangerous ones. And there's two of them that have advertisements that should not have advertisements. I'm saying to each their own. You can do whatever. You can fucking, if you want to do coke, pills, it's cool. There's not cocaine commercials out there. There's not pill commercials out there.
If somehow a company could be started that sells cocaine, there would be fucking cocaine commercials. Like, marketing is marketing. It just is.
But there's not, because cocaine is addictive and can kill people. I've never heard of anybody on coke though. Can kill people. So there's not. But we have something that kills way more people than cocaine does and is just as addictive, alcohol. I don't know if it's just as addictive, but...
It's like, and once again, though, it's a personal decision that people make, and they fuck up their lives. And there's plenty of other things that people fuck up their lives with, but those two are being
And once again, I'm not demonizing people who fucking gamble and drink alcohol, because
You're saying the company shouldn't be able to market.
That's right. They shouldn't be able to fucking, like... be like, look, kids, how fun this is.
And you always bring it back to the kids. Like, it's literally
because that's who's going to do it. They're going to emulate what the fuck we're doing. And at a young age, playing FanDuel and playing fucking DraftKings is not good for you. That's like having a cocaine company, exactly like having a cocaine company saying, hey, it's fine. Because adults will do what they want to do. And then you're selling it in stores and kids are getting a hold of it en masse. It's just like the vape shit. It's just like the vape shit. Kids are getting a hold of it en masse who do not know what to do. They don't know how to do this responsibly. Their brains are not developed. But there are all these commercials in tandem. There we go. I was looking for the word. In tandem of, watch people do it. There's these fun ass commercials about, wow, look how fun cocaine is. They don't use old people in their ads. Nobody does about how fun something is.
Did you start smoking because of an ad? Or did you start smoking because all of the fucking people around you smoked cigarettes?
All of the young people around me, yes.
No. The fucking adults that you stole a pack of cigarettes from. The first time I ever smoked cigarettes was because we stole cigarettes from parents. Like, it wasn't because we went to the store and fucking bought it. We didn't come about it through legal means. We started this process prior to being able to actually access those things. So, like, you can say that they're marketing to kids and all this other stuff, but if your parents aren't sitting there fucking gambling, if your parents aren't drinking all the fucking time, you're less likely. So it becomes that fucking puddle jumper debate that you have. Is the responsibility
in the 70s when they started smoking and shit like that, they wanted to look like fucking people in movies and shit that smoked and shit, because
their parents fucking smoked.
That's fine.
They didn't come from non-smoking families.
That's fine. Cigarettes, you don't advertise them anymore. They're not cool anymore. I'm saying put alcohol and gambling.
They're fucking $10 a pack. Like, that's how
the price has nothing to do.
It does. A kid could buy a vape pen of weed for fucking $20, or they can buy a pack of cigarettes, which taste like shit, fucking give you nothing. You don't catch a buzz. You don't get high. And you put those two in tandem together, they're going to pick fucking smoking weed. Like, they're going to smoke the vape. They're going to do that instead of buying something that is completely worthless. It does not give you a buzz. It doesn't get you high. It doesn't, like, and it's not the cool thing to do because society has determined that. But, like, when I was a kid, I smoked because my parents smoked and because everybody around them smoked. Like, it was the community that got me into it.
Anecdotal.
I'm not.
Claims. You are. That's literally saying how I did it. That's anecdotal. That's an anecdotal claim.
But the community around me, there was no fucking advertisements for cigarettes on TV or anything like that. In my youth, there was none. I think that stopped in like the fucking 80s. So there was no cigarette ads. The only thing you would see is maybe a Marlboro Man in a fucking magazine. Other than that, I did not get advertised to, and all the people around me that were my age did not get advertised to.
All this argument
and smoked still because of where did you access them? You access them by illegal means, through your parents, through older friends that could buy them. You did not get them. So even if Marlboro was advertising directly towards me, I don't have the means to actually do that. And so it wasn't the advertising that got me smoking. It was everybody around me smoking. That's like, hey, I'll smoke one of those. That's how it equaled out. It's not that the advertising is convincing kids to fucking do these things. Like, if anything, it's the video games and stuff that have like a million add-on packs that you got to buy in order to fucking play the game before you get slapped with ads or it tells you can't play for the rest of the day. That's more gambling than fucking FanDuel or DraftKings or anything like that. They're getting primed in their games and their apps that they already have where they have to pay to play. That right there is eating up more of their money than betting on a sports game.
Younger people actually don't play mobile games as much as older people do. And I'm talking about like the 21 being for older and younger.
Okay, because they have the money to spend on it. And so they get to pay to play. And it's the same thing with FanDuel. And like,
listen, we're going to agree to disagree.
Yeah.
Agree to disagree. Okay.
I'm just saying it's a slippery slope.
It's not a slippery slope.
It is.
But once again, look, it's okay to have debates like this with your friend. Do you see how we have not personally attacked each other?
I mean, I did call Mike fat one time, but I think I said it under my breath.
Oh, fucker. Damn it. You fat bitch. You motherfucker. But it's okay to argue amongst friends. Y'all are going to fucking... Now we're going to decide. This is what's going to get the people. And now me and Dylan are just going to fucking argue every goddamn podcast. Because everybody's going to comment on this now. Because they're going to hear it and be like, oh, I want to put my 2 cents into it. So yeah, get prepared for Mike and Dylan hate drama. They just fucking just go at each other.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is a great time to wrap up the podcast. What a great ending though.
It was. Especially since it ended 30 minutes ago.
Right, yeah. Technically it ended 30 minutes ago, but is that camera?
No.
Oh yeah, I forgot we don't have to fix the cameras anymore. But guys, yeah, let us know what you fucking think, and we will see you next time.
Later, mayonnaise stick.